You ever notice how some of the most confident, totally put together people you know are, well, they're practically ghosts on social media? They just don't post. And it makes you wonder, right? In a world that is completely obsessed with being seen, what's their secret? What do they know that maybe we don't? Well, today we're going to decode that digital silence. And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it. We're all told you have to be visible, you've got to post to prove you're thriving, to have any influence. But what if that's all wrong? What if choosing to stay quiet, to be invisible, is actually a sign of a much deeper, more solid kind of strength? It's a great question, isn't it? It's like they're playing a completely different game, with a whole different set of rules. So, today, we're going to break down the rules of that game. We're going to look at the psychology behind this quiet power. So let's peel back the curtain on this whole mindset. This isn't about being antisocial or afraid of technology. Not at all. It is a very deliberate choice, and it all starts with where they get their validation from. Think about it like this. We all have a kind of scoreboard that tells us how we're doing in life. For a lot of us, that scoreboard is right here, on a screen, and it's tallied up in likes, shares, and comments. But for the digitally silent, that scoreboard, it's all internal. There's actually a fancy psychological term for this. It's called an internal locus of evaluation. And really, all that means is that your sense of worth, your validation, it comes from inside. You are the judge of your own success, not the constantly changing opinions of a bunch of people online. And this just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got the really shaky ground of external validation. Likes can disappear, comments can get nasty, trends die overnight. It's a total roller coaster. But on the other side, you have the bedrock of internal validation. It's built on your values, your satisfaction. It's so much more stable. Okay, so where does this internal validation come from? It's not magic, right? Well, it's fueled by the second key idea, having a really strong, clear sense of exactly who you are. It's called self-concept clarity. It just means you have such a solid handle on your own identity that you aren't knocked around by what other people think. You know who you are, what you stand for, what truly matters to you, and that has nothing to do with what's trending online. You just don't feel that need to perform a version of yourself because you're already pretty comfortable with the real thing. And that's the bottom line right there. They aren't looking to social media for clues about their own identity. That work's already been done. For them, social media is just a tool, and it's one they don't really need for self-definition. And this brings us to the final reason. And honestly, it might be the most practical one. It's all about managing your resources. And I'm talking about your most valuable resource of all, your mental and emotional energy. Just look at how draining the whole social media cycle is. First, you pour all this energy into creating the perfect post. Then, you burn through even more energy in that high-anxiety waiting game, waiting for likes and comments. And hey, even if you're just scrolling, you're still losing energy in that silent, constant comparison game. It is a huge energy sink. So by simply opting out of this whole cycle, they get all of that energy back. And it's energy they can now pour into their careers, their hobbies, their real-life relationships. The things that actually give them that deep internal validation we were just talking about. It's a really powerful, self-reinforcing loop. Okay, so we've broken down the why. But how can you start to build a little of this quiet power for yourself? Look, you don't have to go delete all your apps. It can start with a really small, simple experiment. Seriously, just try it for 24 hours. No scrolling the feeds. You can still message people directly, sure, but avoid that endless scroll. And then just notice. What do you start thinking about when you're not consuming other people's content? How do you feel when you're not waiting for a notification? It is a fascinating way to just check in with your own internal scoreboard. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to that friend of yours. After all this, what do you think is really going on? Are they some secret Zen master of inner strength? Or is it just possible they forgot their password like 3 years ago and just can't be bothered to reset it? So what's your take? Zen master or forgotten password? Let us know your theory down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and you wanted to decode more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.